Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Growth Path. At this time around, I'm super excited to have a friend of mine on. Somebody I'd probably call a friend at this point, Luis, right?
Of course.
We've been working together now for a couple of years. Actually, Luis started our relationship started as he was a customer of mine when I first started my business. It was probably back in 2022, something like that. 2022, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe end of 2021, something like that.
Yeah.
That was back in his time at, I know the new name, Light, but what was it called back then? Event Genius.
Yeah, Event Genius / Fest Ticket. You remember
/Fest Ticket,
that?
Yeah, man. So that's going back a while now. But so myself and Luis work together. Luis is also just a background on him. He's my go-to guy now when it comes to anything paid ads and also anything AI related. So originally he was the paid ads guy and now he's the AI guy, right? So himself and his twin brother Rui, if you see both of them on a call at the same time, it's like, oh Jesus, what's happened here? So his twin brother himself, Rui, have set up first of all, they have their own agency, which is called Scalit. That's based around the paid ad side of things. Very, very good when you want to anything to do with Google ads or any sort of paid growth strategies. The guys are on it and they'll look after you well. Take that as a little plug for you guys there at Scalit. But honestly, ourselves here at Purple Path, we've placed them across a couple of different projects that I've been working on. I've seen great results. On top of that, they and the stuff that we're going to be talking about mostly today is around AI. And all of a sudden, sort of Luis became like an influencer in marketing and AI. I was like, Jesus, what's after happening here? Him again, the terrible two from Portugal down in Porto have come up with their own AI newsletter, which is amazing, by the way. So if you're not, it's called the AI Break newsletter, something that they started as a bit of a fun project back a couple of years back, or about a year ago now at this point, not even a couple of years, about a year ago when ChatGPT first hit the scene. I would say that's when the guys came out with that newsletter, and now they have over 80,000 subscribers. So so mad one. Luis, little fun fact about Luis as well. He's one of the top 10 influencers on TikTok in Portugal, which again was something when he told me that originally, I was like, get the fuck out of here. But that's Luis. Luis, super excited to have you on today, man. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the intro. Been quite an interesting few years, but yeah, it's been as you mentioned. We started as like a fun side project. I think everybody here at home couldn't hear more about ChatGPT anymore, so my brother and I just started writing about it, and we just like into it. We start using it in our own business, and this newsletter actually opened quite a few doors, and now it's a big portion of our business and kind of where we're aiming towards in the future, which is AI and the AI space, which is quite interesting at the moment.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, it's developing really quickly, right? There's like people keep on asking me not people ask me. I think I've seen a lot in the past couple of weeks because the CEO of Microsoft came out and said something like, "Oh, SaaS is dead because it's going to be replaced by AI agents." I'm like, that's absolute shite. That's just looking for headlines. I don't know. Like, look, from where I'm standing, and I work mostly in SaaS, and of course I'm going to say, oh, SaaS as well. I'm like, but like, I've been to many SaaS events over the past year. I've seen the SaaS space grow in front of my own eyes massively in the past couple of years. I'm seeing VCs still invest in SaaS. I'm seeing SaaS companies being sold for multi-billion-dollar deals. I'm seeing SaaS companies come to me all the time being like, we're growing rapidly. We need your help. Like, if this AI agent thing is true and if SaaS is dead, it's certainly not here yet. I don't know how you see it.
Yeah, I think it will be. I'm not sure. I think that's a strong headline. I think AI agents will be used in SaaS, and that will, especially like repetitive tasks, recurring tasks, all those kind of things. I think that those will be the first things that will be potentially replaced by AI agents, not the SaaS itself. But I think on the SaaS side, of course, thing that is probably AI wrapper. You see that all these models like ChatGPT and stuff come up with new functionalities that then kind of kill a few startups now and then. But I think probably just the SaaS world is just shifting and changing. But I don't think like SaaS will be replaced, right? It's just like you're gonna build on top of that, and I think all the SaaS companies that integrate AI into their product and their service, I think those are the ones that will be ahead. But I think that's probably a strong was a good headline, but I know what they mean by that. But
Yeah, it was the
we'll see.
same. It was the same when AI started to get a bit bigger with ChatGPT. Everybody was like, "Oh, the marketing is dead. That's it. We're going to be ruled by ChatGPT is going to rule everything and do everything." I'm like, well, you still need people there to make sure that it's not gone AWOL, surely. And second of all, like, you still need creativity. You still need to be able to put together campaigns. You still need to launch. Like, I mean, the only thing that I could say about AI from my perspective, from me, is that it's helped me to like speed up things, perhaps, right? But it hasn't replaced anybody. Not a single role on my team where I'm like, oh, I'll just fire these people and put in AI. Like, not, I don't know. How are you seeing it? You work daily with AI. You're more advanced than I am.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is that you're not going to need as many people, as you said. Like, I think like repetitive stuff will be automated. Things will be more efficient. People will have more time to do the creative side of the work, and I think you'll need less resources to do tasks again that would take you X amount of people. And I think that's what we're seeing across all the companies. Just like, instead of needing a team of 100, you need a team of 30. And it depends, right? Depends on the niche, depends on your company does. Personally, as you know, right? Me and the businesses, it's just me and my brother, right? And we managed to automate a lot of the stuff, from the outreach to admin stuff and admin tasks, and even content creation. Again, I think it just allows you to do more with less. And I think that will be the key. Even now they say 2025 is the AI agent era, and that's where we're going to start seeing ChatGPT and other companies releasing some of those little functions that I think will go towards that direction. So I think eventually, man, it will, and I think it will kill a lot of jobs in the normal kind of way, but I think will create other jobs. And also I think will allow people, that 4-day week that everybody talks about, and even more, I think just spend time in the actual like creativity and kind of building upon on what exists. I think, repetitive tasks and automated stuff, I think that's coming, man. And I think that's what we're seeing. But still in the beginning, I think it's still clunky, but it's
Yeah,
coming.
like I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's gonna make things more efficient, right? Like you don't need to throw so many bodies at things. Which, okay, if you look at that as a whole on a macro level, okay, that might cause some unemployment for sure. But somebody mentioned it to me before when we were talking about this AI takeover originally when ChatGPT came out, right? This was somebody sort of compared it to, like, let's take 150 years ago, right? There used to be a guy that used to have to go around every single evening and light every single light on every single street because they were all gas lamps, right? And then the light bulb was invented and electricity was invented, right? So, and then it was just all automatically turned on, right? So, but what happened then was that maybe those people, or let's say, for example, the need for that person that was going around and turning on all the lights every single night by lighting a flame and putting it under gas and then closing the little door and then moving on to the next, right? That was then replaced by the need for electricians,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And the people that then create the technology to enable the electricity to work, and so on and so forth. So it's just like, it's an evolution, but it doesn't mean that, like, what the point of getting at is like, I think there's a lot of fear mongering probably, and a lot of like, this is gonna, like, mankind is over and whatever, like, I've heard it go as far as that, AI is gonna be our new god, like, Jesus, okay,
There are
relax.
some theories on that, for sure. And I think that there is still, as we are seeing, right, there is rapidly evolving. So who knows where we're going to end, right? There is some different scenarios that the people are working on it put together. But I think right now, and at least for the next few years, is just more having that skill set, and then also getting people to be skilled and upgrade on AI. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like super technical things, but just the fact that you can use it, you understand the limitations, you understand what it can do, and then you just use it on your day to day. I think that will happen across all industries. I don't think there is one industry that cannot use AI or any of this type of technology to improve and to be efficient. And I think we're also going to start seeing really big, valuable companies with 10 employees or 5 employees, right? Because it's all about that scalability. And I think for me personally, the coolest stuff that I'm seeing now is that you can actually start building stuff yourself without the knowledge of being a coder, being a tech person. Like you can literally start using. So I think that's why I think creativity, the idea itself and the execution will be the key thing, and not like the question of, do you know how to code or do you know how to build this? No, it's just like you need to have the idea, the right approach. I think distribution will be the gold, right? Because everybody now can build something. How you distribute, how you do marketing, how you put in front of the right people. I think that will be the challenge. But I think it's great for everybody, because like everybody that has an idea that can start putting it together, an MVP can start putting out there. I think that would be quite interesting. We start going to see, I think, a lot more micro companies than just really the big ones. So that's exciting. I'm building a lot of stuff myself, and I'm not a coder, so
which is exciting. Which is going to bring on a new era of entrepreneurship, you know.
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, yeah, it gives it that actually opens up opportunities rather than taking it away from people, I think. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're going to have less people maybe working at bigger company or at larger revenue companies, but it still allows you to have larger revenue companies, and people are just dispersed across all of more companies, basically, right?
Yeah,
which
exactly.
then doesn't have things too centralized. Like it is like you're going to end up maybe in a position whereby you don't have these 3 or 4 monsters that rule the world. You have many monsters that that rule the world, but you've got many different points of view, because nobody can get that too powerful then, right? That's the thing. Nobody can have that much power.
Yeah, and I think like even those type of companies and stuff and builds will be a lot more custom for your needs or for certain industries or niches, rather than you have like and you see that like companies where they have all this SaaS and software where they kind of, it's for a lot of industries, so it's quite broader, and you don't use half of them, right? You pay for it and you don't use half of the features or anything. And I think you're going to start having those little micro companies coming up with a really specific product, really specific softwares for certain niches, and those will thrive. And you're going to have like, again, like smaller teams making a couple of million, and being bootstrapped and just growing. And I think that's the fun part, is just not only opening up opportunities, but also you can actually go against the big corporations, right? It's not like impossible to compete with them. So I think that's opening up a lot of opportunities for people. But you need to be, I think, at least having the curiosity to start using. I still talk with a lot of people that they heard about like ChatGPT and stuff, but that's it. They don't use it. They don't use it. They don't even try or be curious about it. And I understand right now there's a lot of noise. You can feel like overwhelmed. There's so many tools every day getting out, but at least using the basics, at least testing like new stuff. I think everybody should be doing that, because you'll put your head like right in, and I think will be, that's the key thing I think people need to do, at least for now.
Give me some of your favorite use cases with AI right now. So like, what's some of the stuff that you're solving?
I think so. You have different parts. I think, of course, like content creation and marketing, like from the ideation, research, right? Like you still need to give your like the human, I would say, element on it. But like research, for example, is a big thing. Putting that research in a way that you can quickly create content about it and then distribute to different platforms, for example, especially on the text side. I think image and video are getting there and will get better and better. But I think the content side and the marketing side, then I think there is a lot of hype on the sales side, but I think it's still a bit like, you have now the voice agents and like, I think on the sales side, it's a lot still on like enrichment, getting the right information when you go to a call. All that can be like, all that again can be done via AI, and then of course follow up and drafting emails and drafting all those things and messages and stuff. It's also interesting. So I'm using specifically, as we are using a lot more on content and sales and outreach. But then you also have like even on your internal processes, right? Like making sure that you get something in your CRM or in your operations and instantly drafts a contract, right? So I don't need to go and draft the contract or copy, because automatically grabs the information. AI reads the information from the client and then puts a draft together. All the way from like you have AI reading your emails and labeling them, right? What is important, what is not. So Those are the kind of things we use. And even on our newsletter, right? Like I can input news and automatically get drafts of certain sections of my newsletter that are structured from how I want them. And then I just need to go and review them. Like before, when we started, Rui and I writing for the newsletter, it would take us hours and hours to put it together, put it like the way we want it, copy and paste to Substack, structure it. And now we get a Google Doc with all the entire thing, all the drafts, everything structured. And then, of course, we go and we add our own things and we change it. But that we use that a lot as well. And then we don't use it because we don't have that side that much, but there's a lot of people using it on customer support, right? Chatbots and stuff, giving at least the minimum help. And then, of course, if there's something more complex, then a human comes in. But that's something that is quite used like right now, which is also like chatbots and stuff, just for like customer support and try to eliminate like the basic questions and the basic stuff. But that's it, man. And I think on top of that, I think it's just building your own custom stuff, which I think is interesting. Building like even simple stuff like your custom GPTs. I have one for LinkedIn, one for email generation, and it already has my own data, my own posts that you write something that is similar to how I talk. All those things already help, right? It's one less hour, one less 20 minutes that you spend putting that together. So that's the kind of the step. And then of course the layer on top is you automate different tools, connecting them together, right? And the AI is in the middle. So a lot of times you don't need to touch certain parts of the business. And I think for us, that's what's been saving us the most. And I think interesting enough, we started by trying to automate content generation as a whole and really focus on the business. And we start realizing that it should actually is the other way around, which is we as the founders or creators, whatever it is, we should be out there, focus on human interactions, content, etc., video and stuff. And then the AI is helping us on the admin stuff, getting the drafts, the content, like the contracts, the data analysis, for example, for the Google ads. Again, all that stuff that is time consuming, that's where we are really started using heavily AI. And the content, we use it, like, of course, for research, for drafting, for ideation. But in the end, I still kind of spending more time video, for example, myself doing videos on my brother. So spending more time there and just do the automated admin stuff automated. So that's where I think I'm using more, but it's interesting to see how people are starting to use in their different businesses. Everybody has their own custom, I would say, usage of AI, and that's interesting. But still early days, I think.
Are you using like specific tools for this, or are you using mostly just ChatGPT?
So I'll send you a screenshot of my tabs. I have like almost all the chats open, and I tried multiple ones from ChatGPT, Claude, Google Studio, which is Gemini one, and even now DeepSeek. Everybody, if you didn't heard about DeepSeek yet, go and try it, which is insane.
DeepSeek,
SEEK, DeepSeek.
DeepSeek. Okay,
yeah.
I haven't even heard of it, man.
So it's basically a kind of a competitor of ChatGPT, but it's like 27 times cheaper compared to like in the API, and it's free to use on the normal chatbot. But basically, I think I'm using a lot. I think the ones that I pay is ChatGPT and Claude. Claude I really like for content creation. I think it's more natural and human, the output. ChatGPT I use for the day-to-day because all my custom GPTs, all my stuff were built there, so I still have it. Perplexity for research, which I think is still, you have Google search, ChatGPT search, which is also interesting, but Perplexity I still like the output the most. And then I use Grok, which is the Twitter one, the X one, the Grok, Mistral.
You're not allowed to use that anymore. I don't know if you've seen the news, but you're not allowed to use that anymore.
So I use that for.
That's being cancelled now.
I use that for image generation because it's free. I paid for it, but it is free. But those are my favorites. You have Midjourney and stuff. But I think what I use the most is the APIs to do the automation. So then I use like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity API, and now I'm exploring DeepSeek just because it's the output. It looks like quite good and is like a lot cheaper than ChatGPT, for example. So I'm exploring that as well. I'd say like normal Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude, and then a few other like Lovable. I don't know if you know that, but to create apps and stuff, I'm just testing. that as well, and other stuff. So then I'm just playing around with other things like video creation and stuff. So, but those are the ones that day to day. But I'll send you a screenshot on my tabs. I just
Yeah,
have them
send me
all
a
open.
screenshot of the tabs, man. That'd be interesting. I mean,
Just copy and paste all the prompts and just test them all. So it's fun.
it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, you've said this to me since the beginning. You just need to go and just start playing around with the stuff and see what you can do with it. But I think it's very interesting the way that things are going now. Let's see, like we mentioned at the start, these AI agents as well, and 2025 being the year of AI agents. Like, what does that even mean? Like, so
I think like at least their definition is that you don't have like a human interaction in a certain process, and you let AI to make the call. I think right now when we look, a lot of people talk about agents with the normal automations where you use Make and Zapier and all those tools, and it's not really an agent because it's a linear automation. If this happens, this happens. If this happens, this happens. Where an agent, basically, you connect the tools there, you give the task, and then the agent goes and decides which tools to use, where he goes and grabs the information, and then ideally I think we'll get to a point where it will be all like agent connected, right? You're going to have one. Okay, imagine you say, I want to create content for this company, I want to post once a day on Instagram, and then you have one agent that's going to do research about your industry and your company, then it connects with the other agents that creates the draft, and the other agent goes and schedules everything, and then potentially going to be a human like guardrail in there where you look at them, you approve, and then but I think the agent is like you give like a kind of ideally you give like a goal or a task, and then it doesn't need you like in that process to go and do it. And I think like if you look at stuff, for example, which is kind of the first step, like ChatGPT, for example, now with the tasks, you tell them I need news tomorrow 9 a.m. so you don't need to be there to ask. He goes, and that are the little things. And then of course there is like Relevance AI, there is like Crew AI. There's a couple of tools now that for a while that are starting to build those agents. And I just saw this morning, you have to go and look at Zapier also launch Zapier lunch agents as well. So I think still in the beginning, but the idea will be like, you give a goal and say, look, search, you have a list of all our target companies, go now and search for them, create an email and reach out to them. And it will go and start doing that. And I think that's where agents will come, is like it's not just an input and output. It will be a goal or a task, go and do it, and then it will not finish until he does it, and it will come back to you if there is a problem or a question or anything that he needs your help. It's not linear stuff, so I think that would be quite fun. That would be
that's
quite interesting.
absolutely. That's going to be interesting to test.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still wary of it, right? But you can also be saying the same thing about humans. Like you'd be wary of humans as well. Can you fully trust it? I'd actually argue, can you fully trust a human as well? That's the thing. So
you always have the excuse, oh, sorry, it was the AI, right? But but I think you're gonna have guardrails, right? Like I don't think we are ready yet to like fully, like even on content creation or anything, like you still need to have some sort of like a spot where a human reviews it. But imagine the time you save waking up in the morning, have everything there and like drafts and stuff, and then you just decide. Again, that creativity, that decision making side of it, I think that's coming quite quickly. Then completely freedom and not looking at it. It'll be, I think, I'll be certain things that will be definitely super easy to do, but then other things that you guys going to be a bit worried. But I think we get to a point where I think they were saying that there was going to be even organizations, just AI organizations, right, where they just have a purpose, right? And then it's all based on agents. You don't have any human in there. It's pretty cool, man. Even for like science and research and health, there's a lot of studies now and a lot of things being used AI, which I think will be quite interesting, right? So looking forward, man. It's quite interesting, and the stuff is just like evolving super quick. So in 1 month, things change so super quick. So that's also I think the fun part of it, and how it's so hard to keep up. Just because something that you think you couldn't do next month, maybe you can.
Yeah,
Who knows?
exactly. It moves very quickly, man. It moves very, very quickly.
I know, man.
All
That's why I
right,
need
man.
to keep up to date, man.
Yeah, man. That's how it goes. All right. Well, look, hey, this has been really, really insightful, buddy. Thank you so much. And hey, if people want to know where to find you, where can they get you?
Well, they can get me on the newsletter, so the AI Break newsletter on Substack. And then on LinkedIn, or also my brother also on Twitter as well, which is Sousa Brothers, if they want to go and chat with us there. And also on other social media. We're starting YouTube as well with a bit of training as well. So if people want to, Sousa Brothers as well on YouTube. But if you go to our newsletter, the Air Break, you then can find us anywhere on the social network. So just go to the newsletter, find us there.
We'll make sure it's shared as well in the description. Luis, thanks a million, mate. It's been a pleasure as always. And
Thanks,
I'll catch you soon, yeah?
Thanks, mate. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. Have
Cheers,
a nice
buddy.
day.